You've probably been told your whole life that if something isn't working, it means you're not trying hard enough. That if results haven't shown up yet, you must be missing discipline, focus, or effort. But what if that idea is exactly what's been keeping you stuck? Not because effort is bad, but because effort was never the missing piece. Right now, there's a quiet tension inside you, a feeling that you've done enough, yet something still hasn't clicked. You're not lazy. You're not unmotivated. And you're definitely not behind. There's just a subtle mismatch between who you are trying to be and who you've already become. Most people never notice this moment. They just push harder. They add more pressure. They turn life into a constant test. But if you're here, listening to this, something in you already knows. Forcing doesn't feel right anymore. This isn't about giving up. It's about realizing that effort without internal permission creates resistance, not results. Think about it. Have you ever worked incredibly hard for something, only to feel strangely uncomfortable when it finally got close? Almost like part of you pulled back at the last second. That reaction isn't sabotage, it's protection. Your nervous system only allows what feels safe to receive. And here's where the angelic presence comes in, quietly, gently, not pushing, not demanding belief, just observing the moment you're ready to hear this. Because angels don't force outcomes. They wait for alignment. If effort alone worked, exhaustion would equal abundance. And we both know that isn't true. There are people who try less and receive more. Not because they're lucky, but because they've crossed an internal threshold you were never taught about. This video isn't here to motivate you. It's here to help you exhale, to recognize that nothing is wrong with you. The pressure you've been under? That's not growth pressure. That's identity friction. And when identity shifts, effort reorganizes itself naturally. So before we go any further, let me ask you something. Quietly, honestly. If effort wasn't the missing piece, what have you been waiting to feel permission for? There's a block people don't like to talk about because it doesn't look dramatic on the outside. It's not fear. It's not self-doubt. It's not even lack of confidence. It's emotional safety. Your mind might want success. Your goals might be clear. But your nervous system asks a different question. Is it safe for me to receive this? If the answer is uncertain, progress slows, no matter how hard you try. This is why forcing feels heavy. Effort becomes tight. Focus turns rigid. Motivation starts to drain. You're not resisting success. You're resisting the identity change that comes with it. Because receiving more means being seen differently. It means responsibility. It means permanence. And somewhere along the way, your system learned that staying slightly short feels safer than fully arriving. This isn't a flaw. It's conditioning. The angelic guidance here is subtle, almost psychological. Not a voice telling you what to do, but a presence reminding you what you're allowed to stop doing. You don't need to prove readiness. You don't need to earn permission through exhaustion. Permission is internal. And the moment that lands, effort reorganizes itself into flow. Notice how this feels as you hear it. No rush, no command. Just a soft realization. If this resonates, you might feel a quiet release in your chest or shoulders. That's not imagination. That's recognition. Many people think angels intervene by changing circumstances, but more often they intervene by changing self-relationship. Because once you feel safe receiving, circumstances adjust on their own, and the block dissolves without a fight. Here's the shift most people never make. They keep asking, what do I need to do differently? When the real question is, who am I allowed to be now? Effort belongs to the old identity, the one that needed to push to survive. But you're not there anymore. Something in you matured, quietly, without applause. And now effort feels outdated because it's attached to a version of you that already completed its role. This is why trying harder feels strangely wrong. You're not meant to climb anymore. You're meant to receive at a new level of internal permission. Identity shift doesn't feel exciting at first. It feels unfamiliar. Calm can feel boring when you're used to tension. Ease can feel suspicious when you're used to earning. But angels recognize readiness through stillness, not struggle. When identity updates, reality follows. You stop chasing signals. You stop forcing timing. You stop measuring worth through output, and ironically, results accelerate, because action comes from alignment instead of anxiety. This is the moment many people miss, because it doesn't look like progress. It looks like pause, but it's not pause. It's recalibration. And once it locks in, you don't go back. Let's talk about relief. Real relief doesn't come from quitting. It comes from no longer fighting yourself. When emotional safety is restored, your system stops bracing. You breathe deeper. Decisions feel simpler. Intuition sharpens. This is why some people seem lucky. They're not lucky and they're unguarded. They don't need excess effort because they're not internally negotiating permission. Angelic guidance supports this state gently. No pressure, no demands, just reinforcement of safety. If you're feeling calmer as you listen, that's the signal. Not excitement, not hype, calm. That's how alignment announces itself. You don't need to rush this. You don't need to explain it to anyone. When safety stabilizes, action becomes clean, and clean action compounds fast. So here's the truth. The angelic presence reflects back to you. You were never blocked by lack of effort. You were paused until permission caught up with capacity. Now it has. You don't need to force the next step. You'll recognize it when it feels inevitable, not urgent. This isn't about doing less. It's about doing from the right identity. And from here, things respond, quietly, naturally, without struggle. Let that settle. You're not late. You're aligned. And that changes everything.